Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. I realized right now I didn't bother watching the whole acting trick that I talked about yesterday, because I completely forgot about it. Anyway, we are back with Dr. Kelly in her safe room. Apparently, Reese is a creature of some sort who can create entities out of paint. Wayne is apparently defending us, specifically us, from Reese, the Reese monster, which makes me kind of wonder, who is the enemy? Are we the enemy? We're the one who's being drawn to all these carvings. Is Wayne not the enemy? Is Wayne the good guy? Wayne stomped on a ditchling. Who is the enemy? Also, I don't have water today. Instead, I have Cutwater vodka soda, grapefruit flavored. I'm sure Cutwater vodka soda grapefruit flavor is just as good as drinking regular water. So we shall continue. We've got a few minutes before Reese gets there. So I'm guessing we're going to have a couple minutes we can talk to Dr. Kelly and ask her some questions. What is this room? What voice should we give Dr. Kelly? She's a bit authoritarian, but that's just what she has to deal with. Old X-ray room. Lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote control locks. Glad it could finally come in handy. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. I had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed, right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches, and some facial abnormalities. Enough to be noticeable. I was scared. He could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe a hallucination. But the second time it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? Like, he's obviously changed several times before, and he remembers being tranquilized. I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4, depending on what counts. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it. And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you with this and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman. But screw it, I might die tonight, sure, I'll tell you. It was. And that's all I have to say about that. Why did I black out during that? What is he? At first, I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him. Have you seen what he looks like? It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him, or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess they'll just have to remain a mystery. Was his dad similar? A strange smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes, romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. But then all of a sudden, my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever, no matter what. Kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom too, doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. How do you know he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number 1. It's not like he's usually a violent kid, he's mostly just sad, but every now and then we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot tall monster with 1,000,000 teeth and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's been kind to me. Yeah, and Ted Bundy was kind to the people he picked up off the side of the road, and then he slaughtered them. He's a really sweet kid most of the time, but I can't let that overshadow the violence he's capable of. I will leave it at that. Those are good points. What's the game plan, both short-term and long-term? Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. Oh, whoops, wrong button. There has to be some other way. It's just going to make him feel trapped. It sure is, especially since I'll have to isolate him even more now that he knows what's going on. He's going to hate me. But you gotta work with what you've been given, and what I've been given is an ethical dilemma where I either let my son kill me, freeing him to go out and kill others, or imprison him for the rest of his life and force-feed him poison to keep him controllable. Or the third option, kill him. I've decided which outcome I can live with. While we're at it, are there any other secrets you're keeping? Like the hidden hallway in the basement of your clinic? You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. Let us sit in silence and wait for Reese. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Ah, spooky skulls. Oh my gosh. Reese. You have definitely seen better days.
Is that what you are so afraid of?
Hand over the tranquilizers, this is our shot. Give her the tranquilizer darts. You hand Dr. Kelly the tranquilizer darts. Dr. Kelly quickly loads them into her gun, leveling the barrel at her son.
Malice, I thought we were in this together.
Thank God. Dr. Kelly sighs heavily, staring down at the warped figure of her son. I can drag him into the safe room on my own. I'll meet you at the front when I'm done. Leave her to it. You return to the entrance of the clinic. Everything is quiet now, only streaks of paint, where Reese's minions had once roiled out of cracks in the wood. I hope you understand that this needs to stay between us. I don't care how much you feel like you need to share what just happened with other people. The more people know about this, the more trouble it is for me and for him. I don't need any more well-intentioned escape plans. Can I come visit him? As long as you don't bring anyone else along, yes, that would probably be good for him. I can't promise he'll want to see you, or that he won't have some harsh words if he does, but I don't want him to be entirely isolated. Do you think you'll let any of... There's a magic stone in your basement, just thought you should know. Also, we busted a hole in the wall down there. Okay, thanks for the heads up, I guess. Do you think you'll let any of his friends in on this? She heaves a sigh. I'll have to think about that. We'd run the risk of one of them trying to break him out, but if he's stuck in a windowless room with no internet and no friends, that's a one-way ticket to insanity. Then I'd have an insane monster on my hands. Stella in particular would be a problem. That girl never knows how to mind her own business or follow other people's rules. And she would have absolutely no fear of what might happen if he was cut loose. Kanika, I might consider. She's got a bit of a bleeding heart and pretty inflexible morals, which could be a problem. On the other hand, I don't know how well she could keep a secret. And if Stella found out, then Kanika would probably be convinced to do a jailbreak, and then it'd all blow up in my face. You could probably tell I've put a lot of thought into this. Probably. She's probably had to think about this many times. It's the same calculation I've been doing for years, debating whether or not I could be fully upfront with any of them instead of just pushing them away and hoping they didn't notice what was really going on. She sighs again. Maybe I'll get him a kitten or something. Like they did for Coco the gorilla. Might as well give him a tire swing while I'm at it. Some enrichment for his enclosure. I hate that I have to do this to him. Look, I'm sorry I came here. I feel like this is all my fault. I try to get you to stay away for a reason, but what's done is done. He was bound to figure it out sooner or later. I'm just glad there was an extra pair of hands around. It could have gone a lot worse. That is true. He could have killed her and then run off. As much as I'd love to stand around chatting, I have to get to work. Gotta clean this place as best as I can before tomorrow. Also, is there any coincidence that Reese happens to have his big episode while you're in town? While the ditchlings are here? While the things are happening? And you should probably get home. It's dark. I'm sure your cousin is worried about you. Let's save my game before giving hugs. Hug her. You put your arms out for a hug. No offense, but I'm not a hugger. See you later, Malice. Alright, the hug was denied. She firmly escorts you to the door. It closes behind you. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day. Crickets singing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. Also, what happened to Wayne? Is Wayne okay? Are we worried about Wayne? Everything that happened in the clinic feels almost like a dream, and now that it's over, you realize how little it meshes with your understanding of the world. Go home. It's time to go home. You don't get far before you're interrupted by the jingling of dog tags. Gretchen appears at the edge of the road, running as fast as her geriatric pug legs can carry her. Gretchen seems distressed. If Gretchen's by herself, then Stella's in trouble. She whines as she stares up at you from the ground, eyes desperate, anxiously jumping back and forth and darting away when you try to lean down to her. Gretchen, where's Stella? Gretchen whimpers, then starts trying to drag you towards the woods. Let us follow Gretchen. You follow Gretchen. She nervously runs ahead of you the whole time, constantly looking back to make sure you're still there as she leads you into the dark woods. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a 2-lane road, lined on one side by sheer rock. And there, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. Gretchen runs up to her and sits in Stella's lap. I wonder if that's where her parents had that car accident. Gretchen, you're back. Don't scare me like that again, says Stella. You sit on the log beside her. Malice, how did you... Did Gretchen run off to find you? Oh my God. How long have I been out here? I'm so sorry, Malice. This is where your parents died, isn't it? Yeah, nothing gets past you, huh? They were taking me to college. I was lying in the back seat. It had just rained, and the sun was finally coming out. Sorry, I know that's probably a bummer to talk about. You can understand why she would be reluctant to get into cars. It was awful, really messed me up for a while. I think I'm still messed up. There's whole years of my life after the accident that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. There's something about depression and memory, that interconnection, the entire idea that you can hit that certain low and suddenly that time ceases to exist. At least it hasn't been like that for a while. Thank God. I never talked about this stuff before with anyone. Well, thanks for letting me in. Stella gently reaches over and takes your hand, her calloused palm fitting into yours. Squeeze her hand. You squeeze her hand and her grip tightens. It's strong and comforting. You can tell she feels held, and so do you. The two of you stare out at the road. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. And then she started hunting cryptids. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Choices. Let's see, it's good they're not coming. You don't want them as ghosts. I mean, because essentially that means they're tortured souls. It is better that... we could always wait a little longer. Stella nestles into you, her well-muscled shoulder relaxing against your body. You share each other's warmth as you both stare out at the quiet mountain road. Gretchen pants lazily in Stella's lap. Nothing happens. Nothing continues to happen for a few long minutes. I think I'm ready to throw in the towel. It's not like I would want to see them like that anyway. I guess I came out here hoping I might get a chance to say goodbye or something like that, since I didn't get a chance when they were alive. They're probably somewhere better than whatever hell Charlie got trapped in. I hope you're right. I've thought a lot about what might come after, whether they're somewhere else or if they just stopped existing. I guess we've seen at least some evidence of the afterlife. I hope that means that there's a good version too, where they're still on that long car ride, listening to Dad's tapes, with a place in the back seat for me when I eventually catch up to them. And then it won't matter that I never got to say goodbye. You could always say goodbye now. Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breath slow and even. Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. But it never comes. But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes. That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I'd kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it. She straightens up, stretching her neck. Gretchen hops down from her lap, tags jingling in the quiet night air. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. Yeah, we could, we could wait until tomorrow to summarize what's happened. She doesn't need to hear about this tonight. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself, at least for now. I don't suppose I could ask you to walk me home. I'd love nothing more. You offer her your arm. She smiles, slipping hers into the crook of your elbow. She pulls you closer until the skin of your forearm brushes against her side. And this is me. Do you want to come in? Tip, dialogue option. Oh, this is separate from the narration or the dialogue. Tip, dialogue options marked romance. We'll start a romantic arc with a character you're talking to, and we'll lock you out of romantic arcs with other characters. Let's see, I was hoping you'd ask. I feel the same. Yes, please. Follow her inside. I was hoping you'd ask. I'd love to. This is a dating sim, right? Yes, of course it is. It's disguised as a horror visual novel. It is actually a dating sim. You have been dating the whole time. Gretchen on her pillow. Stella ushers you inside, a barely contained grin threatening to split into an excited smile. Let me just go take a quick shower. I've been sitting outside for a day. I need some soap. It'll just take a minute, then we can get cozy. Oh man, I would kill for a shower. Stella laughs. Yeah, I'm sure you've built up quite a lot of grime today. It's all yours when I'm done. She hurries off, leaving you and Gretchen in the living room. Gretchen immediately curls up in her bed, clearly exhausted after a long day of worrying over Stella. But before she has a chance to fall asleep, a heavy knock startles her and you. Gretchen growls. There's someone at the door. Is it Wayne? I'm going to open the door after saving my game. You summon the bravery to cross the room and open the door.
Malice. Not going home for the night.
He cocks his head, the stained veil over his face fluttering in the slight breeze outside. The outside of his clothes are streaked with what you at first think might be gore, but you quickly realize it's actually paint, and there are wide claw marks down his shirt. But he's still in one piece after his altercation with Reese. Wayne, I was so worried about you.
No need to worry. The boy managed to catch me off guard with those little constructs of his. But he wouldn't stand a chance against me without little tricks like that. I won't keep you long. I know you have a warm bed and a warm body to keep you occupied tonight. But I wanted to give you a suggestion for tomorrow. You should take advantage of Tabitha's absence at the estate. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her around to stop you. Do a little exploring. You might be surprised at what you can find.
He slowly steps back, shining eyes fixed on you as he disappears into the dark night beyond Stella's door. Gretchen's growls escalate into barks. Calm down, Gretchen. Ooh la la. Were you just talking to somebody, Malice? Wayne stopped by to try and spook me. He's still following you? Are you sure we're safe? I think he's on our side. You think so? I guess that's good. I still don't love the thought of him stopping by unannounced at odd hours of the night, though. But you'll let us know if he tries anything, right, Gretchen? Gretchen snarls, yapping fiercely. That's right, Gretchen, you're the most vicious little geriatric pug there is. You know, the thought of your creepy stalker, whether he's on our side or not, makes me feel a lot better about having you around tonight. It'll be nice to have somebody next to me if I get scared in the middle of the night. Speaking of, I'm exhausted. Let's turn in. Oh, right, but you said you wanted a shower. Sorry, head's a little fuzzy from staying up for the past day. There's fresh towels in the bathroom, and I've got some extra bathrobes. I can put your clothes through the wash so they'll be extra clean and fresh in the morning. Well, thanks. And it also is a decent shower this time instead of the guest bedroom. It somehow feels like the longest and shortest shower you've ever taken. Too tired to think, too tired to process the flow of time. Stella sits outside the bathroom door and makes quiet and comfortable small talk with you, and then you're done. You dry off and step into one of her extra robes. So, are you coming in? Follow her. You walk by Stella and into her bedroom. She gently closes the door behind you. Sorry, I didn't clean up beforehand. You can think of it as getting the authentic Stella experience. She slips past you and lies on the bed, dressed in an oversized t-shirt. You're quick to follow. She's warm and still slightly damp from the shower, her skin fresh and flowery. She turns to look at you, smiling, dimples creasing at the edges of her mouth. You could kiss me if you wanted to. Kiss her. You shift closer to her and close your eyes. The magnetic pull of anticipation rolls down your spine and across your skin. And for a moment that seems to last forever, you take in every detail of the world around you. The forested scent of her eucalyptus shampoo, and beneath it, the slightest hint of campfire, the comforting heat of soft but calloused hands against your cheek. The thunder of your hearts beating ever more quickly in unison. The tension rises and rises, a tone seemingly without peak. And then it breaks, and her lips touch yours. They're fresh and minty and soft, cool against yours, and guided by the gentleness of someone looking to hold on to the memory of tonight for a long, long time. And then she pulls you closer, tighter, and the two of you lose yourselves in each other. Eventually, the two of you break away and open your eyes, gazing at each other from the opposite ends of the pillow. You drift off together, limbs entwined, exhausted and safe and comforted. Tomorrow may bring some new horror, or it might not. But whatever happens, you'll face it together. This is the end. What is the Benoit Blanc achievement for? I have to look up what the Benoit Blanc achievement is for. This is the end of episode 4. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development. If you'd like to continue with this world straight in episode 5, save your game now, which we will definitely be saving our game now. Hold on 1 second while I look up that achievement. Never mind, I forgot what buttons I assigned to Steam... to the Steam in-game overlay. I'll try to remember to put it in the description or something. But yeah, that was episode 4. That was really good. That was great. We got some more lore for... I guess we got a little bit of setup for, like, what is coming. We had our own mystery to solve with Reese. We got to reunite with Sybil. Sorry, we reunite with Stella. Have some romance. We'll have to see what episode 5 brings whenever it comes out. For now, though, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.